Hi and welcome to my review of The Goodies, the complete BBC collection. Today we're on to the episode Women's Lib, also known as Free to Live. Disgusted by Tim and Graeme's attitudes towards women, Bill reports them to a women's liberation organisation. Barbara the feminist comes around to deal with the issue and sends Tim and Graeme to work for her father, a terrible chauvinist, with Tim in drag as a maid, to learn what it's like to live as a woman. Meanwhile, Bill and Barbara become a couple. Tim is so horrified by how women are treated that he becomes a feminist and starts living as a woman. Meanwhile, Graeme is so fed up with women that he begins a relationship with his computer. With Graeme and Bill headed for the altar, feminist Tim decides he must try and stop the weddings as he sees marriage as an oppressive institution which condemns women to a life of virtual slavery. I found this a really interesting episode, and it does confront the attitude that women are nothing more than dolly birds. When you think about the British comedy landscape of 1971 when this was made, this is a pretty progressive thing for a comedy show to take on. This is a really freewheeling and positive exploration of ideas around women and feminism, and actually it does land on some pretty progressive ideas. I was particularly surprised by the moment where Tim, having returned from the Barbara's father's house, still dressed as a woman, wants to go out, and Graeme says, "Oh, you can't go out looking like that." Tim actually replies something like, "There's nothing wrong with dressing like a woman because there's nothing wrong with being a woman." And that is such an incredibly, to my way of seeing things, modern view to express. Graeme is an absolute monster in this episode, and I love the fact that the episode presents his sexism as something villainous and awful to be condemned. Other highlights of this episode for me included seeing Bill play the saxophone, and also two of Bill's songs in this episode are real standouts. One of them, A Woman's Work Is Never Done, it's just like a straight soul song. It's not a send-up, it's just like a soul song about how hard it is to be a woman. And there's another song in the episode which sounds really different. They've gone for a really different sound on it. It's like a stripped back acoustic guitar song, and that's the one that plays over the romantic montage of the couples. And both of them I thought were really strong musical tracks. Guest stars in this episode include Gaye Brown, who would also appear in A Clockwork Orange, and she was also one of the party guests in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. The other star is Allan Cuthbertson, who you might remember from The Avengers and Fawlty Towers. He's just in everything. Is it entirely successful in taking on sexism? Well, maybe not. It does feature an ad parody that seems to be displaying the same kind of dolly birdism that they were ridiculing earlier in the show. Maybe they're holding this up as another bad example. It wasn't really clear. But I do love the fact that they really tried, and they really do land on some interesting and unexpected moments in this show, especially around Tim and gender and cross-dressing. It all seems remarkably progressive and modern for a comedy show from Britain in 1971. I also loved how Barbara was like a female version of Bill, down to the matching outfits they wore. And I thought it was really interesting that in this episode we see two of the boys at least with girlfriends. Graeme in the beginning comes in with his dolly bird, and then Bill has his girlfriend Barbara. I really love that this episode was about men trying to do better, trying to see things from women's point of view, trying to understand sexism, and just trying to be better. All in all, I found this a really funny episode, as well as the way it explored an issue and had a message. I really enjoyed this one. Thanks so much for watching today, and I hope you'll join me next time when we move on to gender education. I hope I'll see you then. Bye.